Hey guys, today I want to do something a little different. I would like for everybody at the end of this video to grab a piece of paper and a pen, and I want everybody to write down their top 10, top 20, top 30 excuses that you guys use all the time as to why you don't want to eat healthy or exercise. Some will say my kids, some will say time, some will say I have to go to bed, some will say work, some will say this. I want everybody to write down their top excuses as to why you can't do it. Now, I, on my journey, met a very elderly man that was late 70s, and I don't mean very elderly. He looked like death walking, and you just kind of didn't really pay attention to him. And one day on my trail walk, because I used to walk when nobody was around, he stopped me, and he says, "What are you trying to do with your life?" I said, "Well, old man wisdom, I'm trying to lose weight right now." And he said to me, "Do you ever write down your life?" And I never understood that. Never did. And at the time, I was pissed off at the world. I really didn't give a shit what he had to say to me. And I'm the first one to admit that. I was pissed off. My knee hurt. My back was on fire. I was fat. I was hiding. I didn't want to see people. Last thing I wanted to do was stand on a trail talking to a guy that, I didn't know. And I was rude to him. And I admit that. A few days go by, a week go by, 2 weeks go by. Here comes this old guy again. And he stops and he says, "What is your name, young man?" And at the time I was like, fine. Let me see what this is about. So I told him, my name's Johnny. I'm starting to lose weight. And he asked me again. He says, "Do you write your life down?" So I finally looked at him and I said, "What the fuck are you talking about, writing my life down?" I said, "I don't write a diary." And he said, "No, I'm not talking about a diary." He said, do you ever write down what you hate about yourself in your life?" I just said, "Why didn't you just ask me that in the first place?" I'm direct. He said, "Because it doesn't sound good. People like to run from that." So I ended up spending about an hour with this guy talking to him. And I felt like such a jerk because I was mean to him the first time, and he was such a nice guy. He was such a informative man, and he became a friend. He became somebody that I looked forward to on the trail. And a lot of people don't want to admit being a dick, and I know I never used to, but it is what it is. And one day he told me, he said, I want you to write down your excuses, and I want you to share that with people in your life that ever need help again. And he went into his excuses. Now, we're talking about a man that probably weighed 130 pounds at the time. But he had different excuses. He left his wife, he left his children, he quit his job, and he moved to the mountains. Just one day, 30 years before I ever met him. He just up and left. And he said his number one excuse was because he loved alcohol too much, more than anything else that he thought. And for the next 30 years of his life, he was an alcoholic, and how he didn't die, he didn't know. And I never forget that day because my face was probably like, what the fuck, bro? But it's the same thing as obesity. It's the same thing that we choose. We choose food over people. We choose food over our children. We choose food over our spouses, over our relationship, over our friendships. And when you think about that, and you think about the excuses that we have for our friends that want to go out and walk, or our friends that want to go do something, or our friends in the summertime that want to go get on jet skis, we already have our excuse ready for when that text or phone call comes. Because on Wednesday, if you're with your friends and they say, "Hey, Saturday we're gonna go to the lake and get on jet skis," you already have your excuse ready as to why you can't or don't want to go. Think about that. I know I'm not the only one. So after this video, and I want it done today. I always talk about not tomorrow. Do something today. After this video, before you close your eyes tonight, I want everybody to write down their top reasons and their top excuses as to why you don't want to change. They can be fears. You can always have an excuse for something that you're scared of, right? I don't want success in my life because I am afraid how I will react. That's a fair one. I don't want success in my life because people around me will put me down because I'm doing better than them. I've heard those too. just write them down. It's a great lesson. I did it after speaking to this man, and I ended up actually putting on my paper, don't be a dick. Just because you're pissed off at yourself, you don't have to be mean to everybody else. I wrote that. Don't be a dick. And today, people approach me. And sometimes I'm told I'm unapproachable, you're big, bald, whatever, you have tattoos, whatever it is. But then they talk to me and they go, gosh, we didn't expect you to be nice. Well, I didn't expect you not to be an asshole. How's that? It's just how people are. But when people come up and talk to you and they want to ask you about your weight loss, they want to ask you what you're doing, sometimes there are the people that want to try to sell you something or this or that. You can be a dick to them. That's okay. I approve. But there are some people that you will impact. And that man impacted me. And it wasn't that I judged a book by a cover. It was just some old guy trying to talk to me that I didn't want to talk to when I was huffing and puffing. Because I hated myself, and I was sweating, I was tired, I was in pain. That's not his fault, that's my problem. So after this and before the day is over, I want you guys to email me. The people that want to partake in this little exercise that I'm going to try. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just an average dude who's lost a lot of weight that's just putting function and simplicity into my lifestyle for health. That's all I am. There's my mission statement. I don't believe reading out of a book makes you a personal trainer. I don't believe reading out of a book makes you a nutrition person. I truly believe that if more obese people lost weight, we would change the world. Because we can actually use practicality. We can actually use practical stuff that we've done to help everybody. Not guess. Not tell people, well, because you're overweight, it's why your back hurts. No, my back hurts because I tried to pick something up way too heavy and I pulled something or I tore something. And being heavy doesn't help that. Being heavy didn't create that. Many of you guys have expressed stories to me about how your doctor says lose weight, pain goes away. You lose weight, pain doesn't go away. There's something wrong. Taking the pressure off with body weight helps. It doesn't cure everything. So Biggie at BiggieFit.com. Some of you guys have Biggie at EatASkinny.com. It goes to the same place. So Biggie at EatASkinny.com or Biggie at BiggieFit.com. They both work. So don't worry if you have one or the other. If you want to try this, I have a little idea and something that I'm working on. Let's see what happens. Comments down below. Send me an email. I will read through every single one of them. Give me a day or two to respond. Okay, I'm going to make one email and I'm going to respond to everybody how we're going to do this. And we're going to try to tackle one excuse at a time, not 10 at a time. We all just want to jump into the deep end. Let's just put our toe in first to see how warm the water really is. Because right now it's cold. Okay? That's it.